If you have ever tried to follow the timeline of Mortal Kombat, you have undoubtedly run into many a roadblock and confusion. One of the most confusing pieces of timeline in the Mortal Kombat mythos is the Conquest mode of Mortal Kombat Deception. Where exactly does it take place? What events correspond to what? And most importantly, what was going on in the rest of the Mortal Kombat universe during the major events in the life of Sujinko, who is the main character of Conquest? Before I go on, I feel I need to say this discussion is going to dig deep into the more minor points of the Mortal Kombat timeline. So if you're not so knowledgeable on the overall story arc of the game, you might get a bit lost. In addition, there will be a ton of spoilers in this video, so consider yourself warned. So now let's move on. The story of Deception's conquest starts 9 generations after Goro defeats the Great Kung Lao. We know this because as the game starts, the boys are acting out a fight between these two great warriors. Considering the fact that the Great Kung Lao and Goro only had one fight, we can only assume this is the fight they are acting out. We can also assume that the story starts 8 or 9 generations after the fact because Sujinko is later offered a chance to compete in the 10th generation's tournament. Keep in mind that there is no exact number to represent how long a generation is, but most generational gaps are about 20 to 30 years. As the story progresses, we see Sujinko train with Bo Raicho for 5 years, and then go on to train with the Lin Kuei. At the time, he trains with Sub-Zero, who is not yet a Grand Master, but was a very well-respected assassin. We can tell that the events that occur between Sujinko's training with Sub-Zero up to his training with Havik all take place before the events of Sub-Zero mythologies, because in Sub-Zero mythologies, Scorpion is killed by Sub-Zero. However, in Chaos Realm, Sujinko helps Scorpion track down a member of Scorpion's clan, so by that point, Scorpion has not yet been killed and his clan is still going strong. Much time passes while Sujinko is in Chaos Realm due to him wandering into some time-altering goo. The exact time is unknown to me because the game says many years have passed, so we can assume that there is more than 3 years, otherwise the game would have said a couple years have passed. Sometimes after this event, Sujinko is informed by the deceptive Damashi of his eligibility to compete in the upcoming Mortal Kombat tournament. Due to how quickly the timeline moves forward after this point, we can only assume that this will be the tournament where Liu Kang defeats Shang Tsung. After this, Sujinko has a brief run-in with Kenshi, who throws down some of his backstory, and then he goes on to train with Nightwolf in an attempt to purify his soul. Once again, the game says many years pass as Sujinko trains with Nightwolf. It is after this training that Sujinko meets Shang Tsung. At this point, the Mortal Kombat tournament has not yet happened because Shang Tsung invites Sujinko to compete. After a little fight between Sujinko and Shang Tsung, Sujinko goes to train with Kenshi. This is where time just flies by. After his training with Kenshi, Sujinko goes on to aid Scorpion in tracking down Quan Chi in the Netherrealm. The Netherrealm battles between Scorpion and Quan Chi happen after the events of Mortal Kombat 4. So let's step back, and look at this crucial point. Before Sujinko trains with Kenshi, the Mortal Kombat 1 tournament has not happened yet. But after the fact, he goes on to help Scorpion in post-Mortal Kombat 4 activities. Therefore, all the events of Mortal Kombat 1 through 4 happened during the time Sujinko was training with Kenshi, which also explains their lack of involvement in the said events. After that point, the story starts to become more clear in correlation to the Mortal Kombat timeline. Sujinko gets caught up in building Shang Tsung's temple, a plot point in the Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance game. Then, due to breaking a curfew law in the city of Lei Chin, Sujinko is imprisoned. According to the game, he is locked up for untold years. Now, this is a very important note concerning semantics. Up to this point, the game uses the phrase many years to describe the passing of time. However, the writer chooses here to use a more powerful word, untold. noting the amount of time Sujinko was in prison was much longer than his training with Boraicho or his training with Nightwolf. This is an important note because the events of Mortal Kombat 1 through 4 all take place during Sujinko's training with Kenshi. However, the events in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance lasted for untold years, considering the following fact. After Sujinko escapes from prison, he finds the last Kamidogu and is confronted by Onaga, thus setting into motion the events of Mortal Kombat Deception. There is no telling if my analysis of this timeline is correct or not. However, this is just one man's take on where the Mortal Kombat mythos and the events of Sujinko's life take place. At the end of the day, I'm sure it matters very little, but if you're still watching this video, it mattered enough. So, until next time, I'm Michael V, and this is me talking about some crazy Mortal Kombat shit.